Greetings, folks. I think we'll start with a sound check. So if you can hear me out there, maybe just let me know in the comments so that I can know that the audio is working. I know visually that the video is working, but if somebody can just give me some indication whether you're actually hearing this, because I've got a little spot at the bottom of my screen that says comments should appear there. Oh, very good. Thanks, Rob. Rob Hoffman, thanks for letting me know. So you can hear me okay then. And Edward and Rob Wismer will be on here in a bit too. Okay, so greetings, folks, and welcome to this Facebook live stream. As you know, the office is closed currently, and we're all working from home right now. Edward asked me to thank you folks for checking in on yesterday's live stream and to thank you for your comments and questions. Basically, we're all doing our part to physically isolate during the current pandemic. We're all in this together, but that doesn't mean that just because we have physical isolation that we necessarily have to have total isolation. And that's where technology can become a real lifeline under the current situation. And so Edward and Rob and I will be taking turns to do Facebook live streams. Hi, Rob Wismer. Hi, Edward. And these will be happening on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 2 p.m. You can also leave messages for us on our voicemail, the office, and that voicemail has always come to us by email anyway. So when we check our email, we can check our voicemail. So far, we've been primarily making use of Facebook as a way to communicate with the members, but we're going to start incorporating our own Kennebec Accessibility webpage and things like Instagram as well. It's also useful for you folks to know that if you're doing anything computer-wise, places like Bell and Rogers don't have any caps on their data limits right now. Some of you may have unlimited data anyway, but for those of you who don't, you don't have to worry about using up too much of your data if you're doing anything online. So we've posted in recent days some things on our Facebook page. Yesterday you would have seen Leona's Healthy Living workshop, but we've also posted some links to a number of virtual museums and other virtual tours that you can take. We post public health announcements and also the daily talks by Prime Minister Trudeau. I put Google Earth up there. There's both a version of Google Earth that you can download as well as an online kind of web page version of Google Earth that allows you to take a tour to any part of the world, get above that. Kind of fun I found to take a look at Mount Everest from above or take a look at the Sphinx or the pyramids from above. But the other day, for example, I went to a place in Toulouse, France, and went down to Street View and was able to explore the streets there. So it's just kind of a fun way to get away from the feeling of isolation. Toronto Symphony Orchestra did a fun thing the other day. They're all physically isolating at home, but each member of the orchestra recorded their particular piece, their particular instrument individually, and sent that into a central location where it was all compiled, and everybody in the orchestra, their instruments and music was all put together to create a digital concert. So that was kind of a fun thing. And I posted a number of online courses that are free that you can avail yourself of. One of these is a healthy living course, I believe, put on by, I think it's York University, and the other is a number of courses from Scholastic, online courses for kids while they're out of school. And then there'll be links to a number of audiobooks and ebooks as well, you know, and some movies and so on and so forth. If you folks are, yeah, Rob, I thought it might be a good thing to do these kind of things, and we're all going to try to make the best use of technology that we can. And yeah, I can see your comments fine on my screen here, so that's all working well. The other thing, if you do have computer questions, there are various options available to us. You can leave a message and we can talk on the phone, or we can hook up to your home computer either with the TeamViewer program or with remote desktop software, where I can see what's happening on your machine and can help solve the problem. Actually, I can control things on your machine, so I can actually fix it myself and show you how I fixed it. I can post, for example, an instructional video or send an instructional video to you by email if you have a question about how to do a particular thing. We again mentioned, you know, that you can leave the messages on our voicemail, and we'll get those. We can do some things by video chat, and I'm also connected up to the office computer on my desk at work as well, so I can access any files that I need to access there, including our database of members with their phone numbers and so on and so forth. One thing I was going to suggest as an activity during this time, our database has the capability to include photographs of our members. And although we know what most of you look like to see you, we can't keep track of everybody, and so it's just useful when I'm talking in a conversation to somebody, you know, well, no, that's the person that I'm talking about. So this would be a time that if you just want to take a selfie of yourself with your cell phone and send that to my email address, this is a great time for me to start incorporating those photos in the database. And my email address is just rfleming, R-F-L-E-M-I-N-G, at kwAccessibility.ca, rfleming, R-F-L-E-M-I-N-G, at kwAccessibility.ca. And if you had any questions now, you could ask them in the comments. If you're not seeing this video live, if you catch it later in the day, you could still leave questions in the comments as well. So I think there are some possibilities during this time. It's going to be changes for a lot of us, and most people don't like change. I'm not a big fan of change, but we just have to deal with the cards that are on the table at any given time. And if we all do our bit now, that will save us from a much bigger problem in the long term in terms of this pandemic, if we are able to flatten the curve and get ahead of the curve and those sorts of things. I'm just going to ask Rob Wismer, actually, if you just type a brief comment here just to make sure that I'm getting comments in the comment section. You know, the main thing is that we want everybody to stay as safe as possible and to pay attention to the guidance from our Prime Minister and from our public health officials, so that you know, so that we're making our actions, you know, based on actual data and science. I'm just seeing a comment from you, Edward. I think, when will I have to do this? I'm not quite sure what your question is. You can just add some clarification. Yeah, so those comments seem to be coming through there fine. Um, so, as I say, if you are not catching this video live, feel free to leave messages in the comments section. Our phone number at work is 519-885-6640. And you just follow the prompts on the answering machine to leave messages as well. So I we'll sign off now. Ask that folks take care and stay safe, and we will talk with you soon.